Good evening, Matt Wordsworth with ABC News. Two Rwandan men accused of the brutal murder of tourists in Uganda have been resettled in Australia. The transfer took place soon after Australia reached agreement with the US to swap refugees held on Manus Island and Nauru. American authorities had kept the two men in immigration detention after failing to prosecute them for murder. Chief Foreign Correspondent Philip Williams reports.
It all started 20 years ago when 8 foreign tourists were murdered, including 2 Americans, and others kidnapped in a remote part of Uganda. Then 23-year-old Peyton Roki survived the 1999 attack by running and hiding in a rock crevice.
I can still see the burning truck. I can still see, the unfortunate person who was murdered that I saw.
Hutu gunmen from neighbouring Rwanda were blamed for the attack. US authorities extradited 3 men they say took part in the killings. 2 of them were allowed into Australia late last year.
Every single person that comes to Australia under any such arrangements are the subject of both character and security assessments.
But the US Justice Department clearly believed they did take part in a massacre, even calling for the death penalty. Their cases were dropped after a judge said their confessions were obtained under torture. Politico reporter Josh Gerstein broke the story.
The criminal case essentially ended, prosecutors gave up on it, and these men fell into a kind of legal limbo, stuck in immigration detention for what would amount to a decade.
But 6 months ago, an Australian solution, as 2 of the 3 men started new lives here. Back in 2016, then Prime Minister Turnbull did a deal with President Obama. He would accept refugees kept on Nauru and Manus Islands. That was reinforced in a later phone call with the newly elected President Trump, who was unimpressed with the deal. "We will take anyone you want us to take," Malcolm Turnbull was reported as saying. "The only people that we will not take are people who come by boat."
It makes no sense to let 2 people into Australia which have been accused of this, while we let another 1,000 or so go to that other country. I was just a bit shocked that we would do that.
The arrangements like the one involving these 2 people are not unknown, but we usually don't hear about them. But it's certainly opened up questions about how the men the Americans once wanted put to death were able to convince our government they posed no risk and deserved the full protection offered by Australia. Philip Williams, ABC News, Canberra.